We welcome you, dear students, to the practical session on minor phyla specimen study. The aim of the practical is to study the specimens of minor phyla. Introduction. All the soft-bodied worm-like invertebrate animals were placed under a varied group called Wormes. In the animal kingdom, Wormes splits into various invertebrate groups like major and minor phyla. The concept of major and minor phyla depends on the following factors. They are number of species and individuals, participation in ecological communities, and relationships. On the combined basis of these factors, Protozoa, Porifera, Coelenterata, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Arthropoda, Mollusca and Echinodermata can be regarded as major phyla. The rest of the animal groups are known as minor phyla. We will now learn in detail the minor phyla. Most of these phyla comprise unremarkable and little known animals which appeared before the two main streams of evolution diverged. They are often grouped together as the minor phyla, presumably because their members are generally too small to be seen with the naked human eye. These animals are rarely seen as they usually live in secluded aquatic or terrestrial microhabitats or as parasites hidden away in other animals or plants. In spite of their inconspicuous habits, these animals are important as members of food chains or as parasites of economic, veterinary or medical importance. Moving ahead, we will learn the groups of minor phyla. On the basis of the presence or absence of a true coelom, the minor phyla categories are divided into three groups, that are Acoelomate, Pseudocoelomate and Coelomate. Minor acoelomate groups. These phyla have a solid body construction in which the space between the digestive tract and the body wall is filled with mesenchyme or parenchyma. As there is no coelom or body cavity like Platyhelminthes, these groups are termed acoelomate. They further include phylum Mesozoa, Ctenophora and Nematrina, that is Rhynchocephalia. Minor pseudocoelomate groups. These groups do not possess the true coelom. It includes phylum Entoprocta, that is Chrysozoa, Acanthocephala, Nematomorpha, Rotifera, that is Rotatoria, Gastrotricha, Chinorhyncha, that is Echinodera and Nematoda. Minor coelomate groups. These groups possess true coelom between two layers of mesoderm and it includes phylum Ectoprocta, that is Bryozoa, Brachiopoda, Phoronia, Chetognatha, Priapulida, Sipunculida, Echeuroidea and Brachiata, that is Pogonophora. Further, we discuss all the three groups in depth, starting with minor acoelomate groups. It includes three phyla. Phylum 1, Mesozoa. The term Mesozoa means middle animals. It is invented by Van Banden, who regarded these animals intermediate in structure between Protozoa and Metazoa. Classification. The Mesozoa are grouped under a single class, Moruloidea, containing two orders as follows. Order 1, Dicyamida. They are common endoparasites in the kidneys of various cephalopods. The usual adult forms are up to 8 mm long. Example, Dicema. It is a common parasite in the kidneys of cuttlefish, squids and octopuses. It lives attached within the host nephridial cavity. The adult is known as a nematogen. Axial cell is surrounded by somatoderm. The anterior end of body forms a slightly distinct head or calot. Peripheral cells consist of 4 propolars, 5 metapolars, 2 to 4 parapolars and 10 to 12 trunk cells. Order 2. Orthonectida. They are rare endoparasites residing in various invertebrates such as flatworms, nemerteans, brittle stars, annelids and clams. Body forms are 1 mm long. Sexes are separate and dimorphic. Example is that of Rhopalura. It is a rare parasite found in the internal spaces and tissues of flatworms, brittle star and annelids. The sexual forms are oval or spindle-like and is ciliated animal consisting outer ciliated layer or somatoderm and inner mass of ova or sperms. Somatoderm is marked into segments or rings. The anterior ring form an anterior cone and the most posterior ring constitute posterior cone. The male is smaller and with fewer rings compared to female. Fertilization is internal. Phylum 2. Ctenophora. Classification. The phylum Ctenophora contains about 100 species grouped into 2 classes. Class 1. Tentaculata. Adults have tentacles. It contains Cdipida. Example is CDP. Lobata. Example Nemiopsis cestida. Example Cestus and Platyctenia. Example Ctenoplana. Class 2. Nuda. Body is large, conical or thimble shaped and compressed in lateral plane. Tentacles and oral lobes are absent in larval stages. Mouth is wide and pharynx is large. It contains Barroida order. Example is that of barrow. The conical body of barrow is 10 to 20 cm in height and 5 cm in breadth. The individuals are dull milky or brownish in color. Sense organs are surrounded by rounded papilla. Tentacles are absent. The truncated oral end bears the mouth. Interradial or meridional canals are present. Phylum 3. Nemertenia or Rhynchocoela. Classification. Phylum Nemertenia is represented by nearly 700 species grouped in 2 classes and 4 orders as follows. Class 1. Anopla. The general characters of this class are proboscis is unarmed, mouth is posterior to the brain and intestinal pouches are absent. The phylum further includes 2 orders. Order 1. Palaenoemertini. The characters are body wall muscles are of 2 or 3 layers, innermost muscle layer is circular, dermis is gelatinous and poorly developed and eyes are usually absent. Examples are Tubulanus, Cephalothrix. Order 2. Heteronemertini. The characters are musculature of body wall, well developed dermis and presence of eyes. Examples are Linnaeus, Micrura and Cerebratulus. Cerebratulus is a well-known marine nemertean in all seas. It has a long but flat and broad body with thin lateral edges well adapted for swimming. It lives in mud burrow near low water mark. The eyes are usually absent. The mouth is a long slit. The head bears 3 frontal organs and mouth marked with cephalic pits. It contains long proboscis. The another class of this phylum is Inopla. It has two orders. They are Order 1, Holonemertini, example Amphiporus, and Order 2, Delonemertini, example Melecopdella. They undergo class Inopla. Minor Pseudocoelomate groups. It has 7 phyla. Phylum 1, Entoprocta. Nish coined the name Entoprocta, where endon means within and procto means anus. The Entoprocta is a small group comprising about 60 species arranged in 3 families. Family 1, Loxomatidae. They are marine solitary forms with a contractile stalk attached by a simple adhesive disc. Examples Loxosoma. Family 2, Pedicellinidae. They are marine colonial forms with long stalks arising from a basal, gripping and branching stolon. The stalk is separated by a calyx by a diaphragm. Examples Pedicellina. Pedicellina is a common widely distributed marine and colonial entoproct. It grows attached to shells, algae and seaweeds in rock pools and shallow water. The stalk is long and yellowish red in color. It is separated by a calyx by a septum. The calyx is cup shaped with 12 to 14 flexible tentacles. Family 3, Urnatellidae. They are freshwater colonial forms with a few long jointed and branching stalks arising from a common basal plate. Example Urnatella. Phylum 2, Acanthocephala. Hyman has grouped them into 3 orders on the basis of lacunar system, proboscis spines and protonephridia, but in no classes. Order 1, Archaeacanthocephala. Characters are median main lacunar channels, concentric proboscis spines and presence of protonephridia. Examples Macracanthoryncus. Macracanthoryncus is common in the small intestine of the pigs, dog, man, etc. and causes serious injury. It is a large acanthocephalid, white in color. The anterior part of the body is thicker than the posterior part. Order 2, Palaecanthocephala. The common characters are lateral main lacunar channels, proboscis hooks in alternating radial rows and absence of protonephridia. Examples Leptorhynchoids and Polymorphus. Order 3, Eocanthocephala. The general characters are median main lacunar channels, proboscis hooks radially arranged and protonephridia absent. Examples Neoechinorhynchu. Phylum 3, Nematomorpha. Nematomorpha has about 80 species grouped into 2 orders. Order 1, Gordioidea. The animals of this order are freshwater or terrestrial. Examples Goridus, Paragoridus. Family Gordioideae includes a single genus Goridus, which is cosmopolitan in distribution. It is found in fresh water. White or brown strings are present, suggesting a gordial knot and hence the generic name Gordius. The tail end is straight in female but spirally coiled and strongly forked in the male. Order 2, Nectonematoidea. The characters include swimming bristles in 2 rows, pseudocele unfilled due to absence of parenchyma and single gonad. Example include a single genus only, Nectonema. The remaining 4 phyla of this group, that are Rotifera, Gastrotricha, Chinorhyncha and Nematoda. Lastly, we comprehend the minor coelomate groups. It includes 8 phyla. Phylum 1, Ectoprocta. The phylum Ectoprocta includes about 4,000 living and 15,000 extinct species under 2 classes, Gymnolemmata and Phylactolae. Class 1, Gymnolemmata. This class further has 5 orders. Order 1, Ctenostomata. Colonies of this order are compact. Zooacia is membranous, chitinous, bearing tooth-like processes, and ovicells are absent. Examples are Alcyonidium, Peludicilla, Amathia. Order 2, Chelostomata. Zooacia are calcareous or chitinous. Examples Bugula. Bugula is a common marine bryozoan. It occurs as erect branching brown or purple plant-like tufts, 5 to 8 cm long. Stem is dichotomously branched. The colony is polymorphic. Zooids are present. The modified pedunculate zooid, the avicularium, is like a bird's head. Lophophore is present at the anterior end. Order 3, Cyclostomata. Adjacent zooids are fused. Zooacia is tubular and calcareous. Ovicells that are gonozoids are present. Order 4, Trapostomata. The animals of this order are extinct now. Examples Stenopora. Order 5, Cryptostomata. Zooacia are short, tubular and partitioned by septa. The animals of this order are extinct now. Examples Phanastella. Class 2, Phylactolemmata. They are exclusively freshwater forms, including about 50 species. Zooacia are non-calcareous. Body wall is within a muscular layer. Statoblasts are present. Examples are Cristatella, Plumatella and Lophopus. Phylum 2, Brachiopoda. The living forms of Brachiopoda are grouped 68 genera and about 260 species. It further includes 2 classes. Class 1, Inerticulata. This class has 2 orders. Order 1, Atrimata. Shell contains calcium phosphate. Passage of pedicel is formed by both shell valves. Example Lingula. Order 2, Neotremata. Foramen for pedicel is confined to ventral valve alone. Examples Dicinia. Class 2, Articulata. Shell is formed of oblique prisms and calcareous spicules. Shell valves are articulate by a hinge apparatus. Lophophore has skeletal support or shelly loop. Anus is absent. Examples Magellania. Phylum 3, Phoronia. Example is that of Phoronus. The body of Phoronus ranges from 15 to 127 mm and is cylindrical, elongated and unsegmented. One end bears a horseshoe shaped tentacular crown or lopophore and also carries the mouth as well as the dorsal anus separated by an epistome. Sense organs are absent. Phoronus is hermaphrodite. Other 5 phyla of this group, that are Ketognatha, Priapulida, Sipunculida, Echeuroidea and Brachiata. Hereby we summarize the session. In this topic, we have discussed various groups of minor phyla. On the basis of the presence or absence of a true coelom, the minor phyla categories are Acoelomate, Pseudocoelomate and Coelomate. In minor acoelomate groups, we have discussed phylum Mesozoa, Ctenophora and Nemetrenia, whereas in minor pseudocoelomate groups, we have talked about phylum Entoprocta, Acanthocephala and Nematomorpha. We have also mentioned about phylum Ectoprocta, Brachiopoda and Phoronia under minor coelomate groups. All the groups are detailed with various examples like that of Dicema, Rhopalura, Bero, Phoronis, etc. Hope you had a good session. Thank you.